versus the Dream Team, and they said that was Chuck Daly's biggest mastermind thing.
But the FedEx Cup, the playoffs begin today. All right, and the first one today is in Jersey City, New Jersey, and they've changed. This goes also. I asked you about. Does this also when it comes down to 30? Isn't they're doing the thing where it's just two players golf together to the British Open, and Tiger Woods asked me to do a playoff round, and he didn't even reply back to the text. That's how focused he was. And basically at the end he's like, I took a page from Tiger's book. That's what Tiger used to do when Tiger was Tiger. He's like, and
Tiger actually went more of the route of, he said he's not going to name any names, but it's more or less what it does to the entire field of play, how it log jams everybody.
He won 2 majors last year and already won this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he was in the play for every one of them he was in the play for, so.
There's something.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. None of them wear a sweatband.
No. Well, that'd be
something else.
That'd be pretty sharp.
I'm going to try to push for somebody to wear a sweatband for the White Sox.
Woo!
Twins lost to the Braves 11-7. Brewers beat the Pirates 8-3.
Boo.
Yeah. Today's games.
Travel day,
So in 2 weeks, they just announced this stuff. 2 weeks is going to be the Players' Weekend for the MLB.
Mm-hmm.
We know that...
and they don't have to do this. They can if they want to.
No, I hate it when they don't, though. I know they don't have to, but I hate it. Like, you guys know I love Joe Mauer, but you know what he did? Mauer.
I can't even pronounce some of these. Manea from the Athletics has the Manealator. Blue Jays have 100 Miles Giles. Christopher Negron is going to go Negron James.
Ah, that's good.
That's funny.
Chris Bryant's going to be just KB. Chatwood is Chatty. But Lester.
Okay, sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to interject with a couple other good ones there.
Sure.
White Sox, Evan Marshall just says forgetting Sarah.
Uh-oh.
On the back of his. So.
Speaking of dirty nicknames.
I'm trying to see. I'm looking up. Trying to look up the Cardinals here. Some of the players that they have there.
Did Mauer go with Mauer?
Well, you get to call the meeting, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't purposely miss it.
I did not purposely
A
miss
lot of low scores early on today.
Who's leading so far?
It was Troy Merritt. Yeah, it was good. We got out and fished 3 times, golfed twice, relaxed, chilled on the deck, smoked a brisket with my brother-in-law. Had some steaks. Just into actually topping Goliath and a lot of those hazy IPAs. So he was excited about that. So dabbled in that a little bit. We have a Zorba's on our lake. If you guys are familiar with Zorba's, the Mexican and pizza. 6 on the front, short par 4. I mean, they were already staggered like a hole behind these people. And I actually asked one of the starters on number 6. I'm like, why is this group so far behind? They're like, I don't know, but they're slowing everybody down. And you guys that golf, people that screw around, like, these are professionals. Like, trust your shot, trust what you're feeling in the wind, and hit course. And, you've been out there for a couple hours. You know kind of which way the wind's coming from. You got a sense of how far your ball's traveling based on, whether it's humidity or heat or whatever. Right. Only good game was the first night. The last 2, they kind of were behind the 8 ball and tried to come back. And then this weekend, Cleveland. So I still think their bullpen's going to let them down. So it's really, the pressure's, I would say, on Cleveland. Now, if they sweep them this weekend and take over first with 6 weeks to go, well, then it's back to the Twins. But as long as the Twins can maintain Mo Hyder at Rhythm City and then Nancy Ballinger over at Isle, gave me the lowdown. I got just kind of what they're pumping up, how they envision this stuff working. Rhythm City base didn't know is it'll lock you from betting once you cross the river.
60 yards. Yep.
It's crazy, and
geofencing.
We talked about it and the technology behind that, and so. I said, if you're driving to Lincoln to Iowa, Nebraska, and you want to bet, you better bet. It's their own entity, and they're partnering with a third party that's going to kind of run everything, but they're going to be the sports book, where obviously William Hill is one of the premier sports books. You've heard of them around the world. They're pretty much doing everything.
Everyone wants to say they hate him, but they respect him.
Man, speaking of that, I was gone. I got back. And what was it, the Nickelback concert?
I said that said that.
I said to everybody.
Yeah, no one says that.
Or 90.
Whatever. I'm just saying, it's great.
4 of them are cute.
Who cares?
But that's the thing. But then, somebody booed. There are multiple people booing and making fun.
To kind of get perspective. It's not anything earth-shattering about the Hawks, but just more stuff to get excited. Media day tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Big time.
We'll be there.
Coming up.
Okay.
I go polo and either shorts or khakis until it gets cold, then I wear a tie.
Jay, you want to borrow a
But it's-
polo?
Yeah, exactly. I'm racking my brain.
I think I have one from 7th grade.
I think I have one. Oh.
Or you can have it delivered. Delivery area limited. So call Vans on the go at 563-232-1396. That's Vans Pizza and More, 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged, and ESPN Quad Cities. From local to global, ESPN 93.5 has you covered with your Quad City.
Keeping your employees is more important than ever. A First Midwest banker can help you determine what type of 401k plan to offer. At First Midwest
Bettendorf. Every touchdown and turnover. Your home of the Chicago Bears is the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
It was up there, what was that, third week in July, the week after the JDC, the only television reporter from the entire state there. Well, I'm going to throw that in there. So that was cool. I mean, that was pretty fun. I mean, everybody's out, when you go there, it's more of a national media thing, I'll say that. So it's all, Michigan, Ohio State, now Nebraska.
Penn State gets in trouble for something again, or Michigan State does as well, and those two teams fall off, and Wisconsin builds itself back up, or let's say Iowa's on a trend.
I mean, the thing
up.
is Nebraska's not it's not any different than Iowa. That's where, so if Michigan and Michigan State, I think the leaders and legends back in the day, 10 years ago or whenever they had that, Michigan and Michigan State were split up. That's what they did. They basically conference games. I think that would help the Big Ten and the Pac-12 right now, who play 9 conference games. Standardize that. Make the ACC and the SEC play 9. Because no matter what you want to say, playing Purdue or playing
Mothership definitely pumps.
And why are the Big Ten championship hasn't made it 3 straight years now? Penn State had 3 losses, I think, the year they won it. Let's get to the predictions quick. Very general ones. I go back and forth. I think last year, I do a positive and a negative.
I think so, yeah.
It's tough for me to get too deep into game-by-game predictions. I know people probably are Iowa-centric. First one is Nate Stanley will break Chuck Long's career touchdowns record.
I think you're right.
He's at 26 back-to-back years. Now he's only 22 from Chuck's record. Interesting, just under 3,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, and then have a 65% completion percentage instead of 59 or 60. So that was one. Nothing controversial about that. Next one, Big Ten West. Penn State's, I think, going to be a little down this year compared to years past.
Yes.
And then if they can go to Iowa or Northwestern and win one of those 2 games, they should be in contention. Now, no, they're going to be better, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
of course.
He says that, right? Well, you can't be. 4-8. They
got
weren't
a good quarterback, and people love the writers.
But
love
he's
this
not going to come out and say
no.
they're not. It's Scott Frost. But
I know they do. Yeah.
I was saying this to people in media. You can't equate UCF to what he did in year 2 to Nebraska. The AAF,
No,
top to bottom in the Big Ten West, behind Wisconsin, Iowa, and Michigan Northwestern.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how can you make the same mistake twice, equating what you did in a different conference, what your coach did in a different conference, and saying, you have to think they'll win one of those 3 home games. He's too good of a coach. They have too solid of a program to lose 3 home games like that. So Michigan State, Ohio State, or Iowa. But man, going to look out in the media. Everybody over 40 or 45 thinks we're Northwestern from 1980.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if you ask everybody under 40, everybody under 40, you'd probably say, but man, barring injury, you saw it in games, in crunch time of games when he was in there, dead set on rushing the passer, whether it was Northern Illinois, Iowa State.
That stays.
Yeah.
Which would be great, but I'm kind of leaning with you, man.
I would say there's zero chance.
Yeah, because as good as he is,
I do obviously think he's got the legacy with his dad. I do think he's
let the Cowboys draft him.
Yeah, I think the more interesting one will be Wirfs, and maybe even Alaric Jackson. If they both have good seasons again, they're both, unbelievable technique, unbelievable physique, and his tape matches what we see. He's going to be a top 10 pick.
Right.
Now it's going to be an exciting year.
Senior, you have a junior, outstanding defensive end rusher. All right, period. You have two leaders on each end that are going to make the difference. That's how.
That. Do you then watch film this year saying, all right, they're not going to do that this year to our guys. How are they going to line up against the same personnel group when TJ and Noah aren't you're not going to
Well, think about it. Was it the game against Purdue where he kind of made the bad throw with the disconnect with Fant on the goal line?
Penn State.
Penn State. Yeah. Penn State. But, the band called the Betterment, and then the live out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin at 7:30, performing the first time in the Quad Cities, Pat McGurty. Yep, bringing the most high energy act in the country and playing the standout hit Sex and Beer.
Cubs are on the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 93.5.
ESPN 93.5 wants you to be an insider. Access great contests and giveaways and be in the know.
Chiro.com. That's SHEEDY, Chiro.com. Sheedy Family Chiropractic. Getting you back to work, play, and life.
ESPN 93.5 is the Quad Cities sport.
Or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com.
Every Sunday and sometimes Monday and even on Thursday. Remember, your home of the Chicago Bears. The Quad.
Contact Ron or Joel. You can contact Joel at 563-343-1136 for a free estimate. Again, like I said, the winter's going to come. Check out the Farmer's Almanac. They're not saying anything too pretty about the bad one. They changed the Tiger Hawk.
Did they really?
Oh,
I don't even know
bad.
if I knew that.
Yeah, you could look it up. I believe it's 98 or 99.
They mess with Herky.
They mess with Herky, and I remember reading. I remember it being at the University of seemed to like it. So yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, and I think the kids really liked it. I just think it's, and we said that, talked to them about it. It's just out of character.
Yeah.
And I think that's good though. It's good to step out.
Yeah,
See, that one was all over the place, right?
I loved it.
Did you?
Jay wasn't a huge fan of it.
It's a traditionalist.
We looked at
that silver
we
helmet.
posted a few of those, and I remember seeing that. I go, I remember they did that. Yeah, silver and like a. I enjoy them. I think it's going to be, that game's going to be hopefully at night. Should be a blast. Penn State coming in, so it's going to be a fun. The first 6 weeks of the season are going to be fun, man. Like, you get a Big Ten game that kind of kept Iowa from having a shot at the Big Ten West down the stretch. So it's going to be fun. I think they have to win one of those two games, Penn State or Michigan State. They can't lose them both.
Maybe be better than
Williams.
than what we thought. Their first three games should be victories, so they should start out with 3 wins.
Yeah. He said, but I think
Rutgers is one of them.
So to get to 6, they have to win at least 3. Priority, and the offense would just come along, but he hasn't been able to implement anything that looks like a competent defense. I mean, that Iowa game last year, they could have done whatever they wanted for all 4 quarters. They would have scored 100 points on them if they left him in there.
We're recruiting. The program has, basically a cloud over it in a way.
My sources tell me.
Oh yeah.
That he's got 1 foot out the door.
Basketball. Now let's address football. And if you don't get to a bowl game this year in your 4th or 5th season, I don't even know what he's at. 4th, I think.
I mean,
right?
and traditionally, don't you all? I mean, I do. I think of Illinois as a basketball school more than a football.
Definitely.
Yes. I mean, this is
I just laugh every
Uncharted
time.
waters.
Yeah, we're gonna go to media.
I was
day.
walking around that media pass on last night. I thought it was hilarious that they gave me one.
They've given an updated schedule. I'm on
Alzheimer's. All proceeds are going to go to the Walk to End Alzheimer's